Hey guys, welcome back. Camera's a little close today. All right, we've got this other book. It is called Zinnia's Flower Garden. So we're just going to continue talking about gardens and how things grow. So as we take a look at this cover, we see Zinnia here, and she's collecting her flowers. But around the picture, there's some other things. We've got her little hand shovel, some seed packets. These are like the ones that we planted yesterday. Bugs that are probably pretty common in a garden. Okay, and then this one right here is the plant that's beginning to grow. This would be called a sprout. Okay, so take a look at this picture, and I want you to think about what season it must be for Zinnia right now. We see the sunshine and the skies are blue and the flowers are full bloom. Okay, remember in winter, which we are just ending, it's cold and the sky is gray and there's usually snow. We wear shirts that cover all of our arms. We're hardly outside because it's so cold. So this season must be spring or summer. Spring is when our flowers begin to grow, and by the beginning of summer, they're in full bloom. Okay? All right, let's take a look at our book. All right, again, Zinnia's Flower Garden. Spring has arrived. Zinnia is getting her garden ready for planting. She digs up the soil and turns it over with her shovel. She takes out stones and rakes the dirt smooth. The warm sun feels good as she works. There she is working. Remember yesterday we talked a little bit about soil being different than dirt because soil has nutrients in it that is healthy for your plants to grow in. Looks like her puppy's helping her. She wants to remove all of these rocks or these stones because they will get in the way of making the plants grow. It'll be more difficult. Zinnia carefully plants many kinds of flower seeds in rows. She covers the seeds with dirt and pats it all down very gently. She sprinkles the ground with water. Okay, you see our nice rows? They're nice and straight. And those are the seeds. She is planting that kind. That's a sunflower. And the sunflower seeds will only grow sunflowers. When she plants these other ones, they will grow, but they have a different kind of seed. This puppy thinks he's going to plant a bone. Maybe it'll grow. Oh no, this bird, is it helping? Or do you think it might be eating that stone or that seed? Okay, we also talked about keeping our soil moist. We want to sprinkle just a little bit of water on our dirt so it stays wet. We don't want to make it muddy puddles because our seeds won't be able to grow. So you use a sprinkling can and it just sprinkles the water, nice and slow and gentle. Zinnia started an observation journal too, so she's going to write down everything that happens in her plants. It says May 3rd. Very busy planting my seeds today. Such hard work. Look at that bird caught a worm. Zinnia waits for the seeds to sprout. The seeds need the sun to shine, the rain to fall, and many days to pass. It is hard to wait so long for her seeds to grow. Oh, she's checking on him out there. She's got her umbrella so she stays dry. Oh, look at the little bird right here sitting on his eggs in the nest. Okay, remember we planted our seeds yesterday and they didn't sprout right away either. These ones are taking a while. And this page here, it's got some little pictures. It lists all the different types of clouds. There's a thermostat to tell you how cold or warm it is outside. That little mouse playing in the rainbow. This one down here, I'll have to turn it around. May 12th, rain all day, ugh, but it is good for my garden. If it's rainy like this and it leaves mud puddles, would Zinnia need to come out with her watering can too? Remember, too much water is not good for your plants. If it rains like this, you do not need to water them. Every day, Zinnia checks her garden to see if anything has happened. Look, the first seedling is poking its way up through the dirt. Remember, just the little piece of the plant coming up is called a seedling, or maybe a sprout. We would say it sprouted up. It poked through the dirt. Look at Zinnia. She looks happy. Even the dog and the kitty are excited that this is happening. Okay, here's the page with the words on it. Here's the sun shining down. Oh, that bird, he eats a lot of worms. All right, so this right here shows us how a seed kind of grows. It's called germination. Okay, that's a big word. Stages of germination. So if you imagine this dark part is what you would dig your shovel in and then cover it back up. So this is the top of the ground right up here. So when you first plant a seed, you can't really see it because we would be standing on top of this green grass right here. And then it starts to grow some roots, but it hasn't poked up yet. And then it barely breaks through the soil. And then there's the sprout. There's the seedling. See, her journal entry here says May 20th, my first sprout today. Wow. Now Zinnia's garden is full of green sprouts growing toward the sun. Little stems grow taller. Little leaves get bigger. Little roots burrow deep into the earth. There she is with her sprouts. Her plants are coming up. If you look really close at this picture here, you'll notice that each flower has its own kind of plant. Those leaves look different. And there's our bird. Oh, look, the eggs. They've hatched, so we know it's getting later in the summer. All right, let's take a look over here. So it starts out right here. Here's those little seedlings. I think these are all different types of flowers. See how different those leaves look? And this white part down here is what's buried underneath the dirt. Those are called roots. When you pull a plant out, if the root comes out, you'll be able to see it. So you can't see the roots on these ones because they're under the grass. All right, May 29th. Lots of sprouts now. I can't even count them all. Garden is growing. This is so exciting. Zinnia takes care of her garden every day. When the sun is hot and the soil is dry, she waters her thirsty plants. Okay, there she is with her sprinkling can again. It must not have rained today. Her soil got dry, but those plants still need water. So if it doesn't rain and the soil is dry, it's her job to water them. You don't have to use a watering can if you don't have one. You can use a hose and just turn your water on low. You might have a special attachment on it that makes it spray a little bit. Or you might use a sprinkler like this. There's that watering can. Even if you don't have a watering can or a hose, you could probably take a cup and fill it up. Lots of ways. Oh, and our journal entry. Let's see, June 17th. No rain for a week. My garden is so dry. Remember, if the rain doesn't come, it's your responsibility to water them. She pulls up pesky weeds that try to crowd out her plants. She inspects them for greedy bugs. She measures how tall and strong and healthy her plants are growing. Every day they get bigger and bigger. Oh, look, she's got a ruler or maybe a yardstick because it's almost as big as her. It's a measuring tool. It's got standard units of measurement. Some of those plants are way tall. All right, let's look at this page here. Okay, so here's some weeds. You might find these in your grass. And if you do, your mom or your dad might pull them out or might put weed killer on them. Okay, if these are growing, they're going to take up all of the water and all the space for your flowers. So a lot of people will pull the weeds out. These kind of bugs like to eat the green leaves that she's trying to grow. These leaves are what get the nutrients from the sun. So when the sun is shining on them, it needs the leaves to soak it into the plant. And if the bug eats all the leaves gone, that plant probably won't grow anymore. So she has to get rid of the bugs. Some bugs help the plants grow, but some bugs harm it. Here's another type of weed, and when you pull out your weeds, you definitely want to get the roots out because it'll start growing again from those roots. July 7th, my sunflower plants are so tall. So that's her ruler. It talks about inches right here. We talked about inches earlier this year. This side of her journal says, I hate weeds. Every day you have to check for weeds and pull them out. See, right there, she's pulled one out. First thing in the morning, Zinnia runs out to check her garden. She is excited to see her little buds growing on many of her plants. Look at how happy she is. Her cat and her dog are following her. I'm excited for Flip Flop. Whether it's coming, guys, it's coming. All right, this part right here is the bud. Okay, not bug. Remember, she wanted to get the bugs off of the flowers. But these are the buds. This is where the flowers are coming. And as they get bigger, then they'll open up and become the actual flower that we would recognize. Oh, look, here's some more bugs on her plant. Do you guys know who this is? Yeah, it's a butterfly. So the caterpillar lays its eggs on the leaf of the plants that she's growing in her garden. And then it'll hatch, and out comes a teeny tiny caterpillar. And he eats and grows and eats and grows and eats and grows and eats and grows. And then he'll make a chrysalis. When we were a kid, we called these cocoons, and I don't really know the difference. That might be a question for your mom or dad to help you look up. And then it comes out of the chrysalis. It's called an adult. And then it's ready to fly. July 18th. Oh gosh, I can't read it backwards, guys. My zinnias have buds. I wonder what color they're going to be. See, she's talking about these. I wonder what color they're going to turn into. There's that flower she's been waiting on. And then at last she finds what she has been waiting for. The first flower. One bud has bloomed. How beautiful! And what a sweet smell. There are many more buds that will open soon. Now there's lots of butterflies in her garden. All right, and this part down here talks about all the different parts of a flower. Okay, that could be another project for you when you're grown up to look up online. Maybe practice saying those words. Very big vocabulary there. Okay, let's see, our journal entry up here says, July 25th, my first flower today, and lots more to come. Amazing. Amazing, a big monarch butterfly landed on my finger. That would be way cool. Oh, look at her beautiful garden. It's full. The garden grows and grows with blossoming flowers. Zinnia paints, reads, and picnics among them. Butterflies flutter, bees buzz. Zinnia's garden is her favorite place to be on these warm summer days. All those different kinds of flowers. Right here, her journal entry says, August 11th. I love my garden. She's reading her book and resting. She's painting. She just loves being outside. We see bees here. These ones are not scary bees. They're getting some food from the flowers. If we respect them, they won't get us. August 11th. This is about the time we come back to school after summer break. So it's been the entire summer for her to get her garden to grow to this part. Her flowers are abundant, and Zinnia cuts some to arrange in a bouquet. The fragrant scents of the flowers swirl around her in the warm breeze. If you've never stopped to smell the flowers this summer, that should be a plan of yours. Or the next time you go grocery shopping with your mom or your dad, ask them to take you to the floral department. They have flowers ready to be bought and put in vases. You can walk up and smell them. They smell really nice. August 21st. My sunflowers are taller than I am. She's using scissors to snip them. She's gathered all kinds of different ones and arranged them nicely into a bouquet. Oh, look at her. She's got her friends over. On hot summer days, Zinnia has a lemonade stand and puts up a sign. Pick your own flowers. Customers come and gather bunches of flowers and drop money in her jar. Lemonade for sale, so they can buy a cup of lemonade too. There's her sign. Pick your own flowers. They've got their dollars. Oh, that's the flower stems. There's $1. Oh, yep, she's got dollars and nickels and dimes, quarters. She's collecting them all in her piggy bank or a jar. The sign down here says, don't forget to smell the flowers. Let's see, August 28th. Busy today. Busy today at my stand. Everyone loves my flowers. Before you pick flowers from somebody else's yard, you need to make sure you have permission. Zinnia put up a sign that says it's okay to do so. But if your neighbors do not have a sign up, we need to respect their property. Maybe they are growing them for their own house and they don't want you to pick them. Oh, look, she's got her long sleeves on and I see wind blowing around. Those leaves have changed colors. It says, in the autumn, as it gets colder, Zinnia picks the last flowers from her garden. She finds ripe seeds that have formed. They are ready to be collected. She will save them to plant next year. So if we look over here, all the petals are falling off of the flowers. And the little tiny seeds are coming out of where the flower was. If she collects them and puts them in a bag, she can put these in the dirt next spring and they will grow the same kind of flower again. Here's what they look like under a magnifying glass. But even the flower plants are beginning to turn brown. Everything turns brown in the autumn. That little squirrel collecting the acorns. All right, it says October 13th. Lots of seeds. I'll leave some for the birds. The birds like to eat them too. Oh, what do we see here? That's right, it's a new season. Now it's winter. The winter days are short, the sun is dim, and the ground is covered with snow. But Zinnia is already planning next year's garden. When spring comes, she'll be ready to grow her very own flowers again. She's got some fresh ones still on her table. She's thinking about the life cycle of her plants. They kind of go around in this circle just like this. Okay, guys, that's the end of our story for today. If you guys have access to flower seeds at home, you might want to ask your grown-up to help you. Sorry, guys. There we go. You might want to ask your grown-up to help you plant some. If you don't have room in dirt, you can use an empty egg carton. And actually, I have some. Okay, these cardboard ones would be great. Okay, so if you open them up, you can just put your dirt right in here, or your soil, add your seeds, and keep them moist. You might want to use just a little spray bottle or a water droplet. You don't want it too wet. Because it is cardboard, it will get soaked through in here, and these will get really soft and kind of break apart. So as your plant starts to grow, you can even break them apart and put them right into your flower bed outside. Okay, so you guys can't see, but my daughter's standing right here making funny faces at me. It's kind of difficult. She's gonna peek around. Oh, there she is. All right, watch out, you nerd. Okay, guys, so something that we've been working on in the classroom is recognizing numbers in print. So I've got these number cards, and on each card is a number in print. Okay, so we start at 0, and it goes all the way up to 20. Not everybody in the classroom is ready to use all 20. There's some kiddos in the classroom that are still working on being able to go, oh, that's the number 3, I know that one. Okay, so depending on where your kiddo is, we can alter this game. They might just need to be able to state that this is the number 6. You might need to be the one to say it and then have your kid repeat. So I will say that's 6, and my kid will say
6.
There you go. Okay. Our 3-year-olds, 3 and early 4-year-olds, we really are working on number recognition, and we're trying to stay in the numbers 1 through 10. Okay. If you have a kiddo that's getting ready to go into kindergarten, or their ability is just a little bit higher and they are ready, you can definitely introduce the teen numbers. These ones get a little confusing because a lot of kids will say them backwards. They'll say 41 instead of 14. So again, you're just repeating the number for them so that they hear it correctly, and then they'll start to understand that. Okay, so I'm going to set the higher numbers aside. Again, you can alter this activity to meet your kiddo's needs. Okay, and I'm also going to remove the number 0. Sometimes we use it, sometimes we don't. So our game today, and I'm going to focus 1 through 5, simply because the space that this camera will be able to see is a little difficult. So I'm going to lay them out in numerical order. Okay. Oop. Let's see here if we can get this thing to work. Okay, so we've got our numbers 1 through 5. Let's go a little bit more. Okay, so there's our numbers, and what I'm going to do, this is called the disappearing number game. 1 through 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now I'm gonna, in the classroom I'd have you cover your eyes, but I'm just gonna alter the angle of the camera to where you can't see the numbers. And I'm going to take one of them away. And now your job, your little detectives, is to figure out which number is missing. I'm gonna pause for just a minute and let you kind of think about it. Okay, let's say the numbers out loud and see if we can figure out what number is missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. this is the empty space, so we know the number 3 is missing. And just to double check, here's the card I took away. That's right, we were right, we got it. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Move the camera out of view. Hide my mystery number. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Let's say our numbers out loud and see if that'll help us determine which number is missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 space is empty, so we must be missing the number 5. You retrieve it. There it is. There's the number 5. All right. Okay, so this is a pretty simple game. And again, we can alter it. Let me not drop the iPad. We're going to bump it up and use, let's see, I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Parents, we've also been talking about the concept of a number line and how, all of our numbers know exactly where to line up. In the classroom, we have assigned spots for our students to line up so that they always know where they stand when it's time to go to recess or into PE or something. They just automatically know where they go based on that lineup order. And I've been trying to teach them that numbers are the same. They know exactly where they belong each and every time, and it never changes. 7 always lines up between 6 and 8. Okay, so just kind of help me reinforce that idea. Okay, so we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Again, I'm going to change the angle. Take a card away. Oh, you can see my secret spot. And turn it back. All right, guys, we have 7, 8, 9, and 10 still in line. Who is missing? Well, since I didn't move the camera that much, we know this is our empty spot. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 6 is our number that is missing. This is another concept that our older kids have been working on. It's called counting on. I don't have 1 through 5 laid out to point to or to count, so they have to use their imagination or their memory to know that 6 is the starting number. It's not 1 because 1 is in our pile over here. So this one might get a little more confusing, and it might be best to have 1 through 10 laid out all in order, so that way they can kind of see the entire number line. I don't have enough room in the camera angle to make that happen. I would encourage to start way over here on the left and go all the way to the right with your number line. If you start on the top and come back down, it kind of confuses them. Okay, so I know teaching numbers is kind of difficult. It's one of those things that we want to do in 2 to 3 minute time slots. We don't want to stress too much about it. Okay, these cards I got with our curriculum set. If anybody wanted to look it up, it's C4L. It's Connect for Learning is what it's called. And they have really great resources, and they've stocked us in our classrooms really well. If you don't have access to this, you can use computer paper and just cut them into small sizes. You can use sticky notes. They would stick to a window or your refrigerator. They might stick to your walls, doors, things like that, and that might be a better method for this game. You can use your dry erase markers on windows, index cards. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can make these. They don't have to be a fancy set. I know like the Dollar Tree and stuff has flashcards too, if that's the route you want to go, or order something online, but we're just gonna have to make do with what we have. This kind of community shutdown thing happened really fast, so I apologize. If you guys need a hard copy, let me know, and I will try to get some together for pickup early next week. Garfield is still completely shut down, nobody in or out right now. So again, just let me know, either comment here on the Facebook page or email me directly. All right, guys? All right. Well, I will update the Facebook page with the plants that we've already started, and I'll just be checking in throughout the day. Have a good day, guys.